What if you're already living in your dream life, but you're too bogged down in chaos and negativity and stress to even realize that it's right in front of you? Welcome back to the Keys podcast. I am your host, Lillian Hernandez, but you can call me Lilly. And in this episode, I want to touch on the topic of dreams. Not just the ones that we have when we're asleep, but the ones when we're sitting at our desk or in the car or at the beach or anywhere in the world, and we're daydreaming and thinking about an alternative reality, a different job, a different car, a different house, different people, and how we can execute that into reality. As for me personally, I'm a big dreamer. I am big on visualizing, praying, journaling, manifesting, all of that, because I've seen the fruits of my labor. I've seen those dreams turn into reality. So in my opinion, if I can end up in a room with Prince, yes, that Prince, the singer, rock and roll, R&B, soul icon, legend. At that moment, I was like, anything is possible. So what do I got to do to make it happen? And that's how I carried myself for many, many years until life got real. Money started to run out. I didn't like my job anymore. I was resenting the people and the environment that I was in. I was partying way too much and physically just out of shape, not feeling well. And eventually I got so overwhelmed, I stopped dreaming. And part of me had just succumbed to my circumstances. I just accepted the fact that, well, if this is how it's going to be, it just is what it is. And looking back in hindsight, at the time of this recording, I'm 41 years old. I would say my mid-30s was probably one of the toughest transitional points in my life where I had to make a lot of big decisions. I was losing a lot of people and it was challenging me. It was flipping my world upside down, and my business was moving along, but I just wasn't satisfied in it. I didn't feel a connection to it emotionally, mentally. It was just making me money. And I always felt deep down in my soul, even right before I quit my job, that there has to be more to life than me just pushing papers. And it's not a disrespect or slight to pushing papers or being a transaction coordinator. I had just been doing it for so long. Like up until that point, I was approaching the 20-year mark, that I wanted to try something different. I wanted to learn how to give back, to teach this, to coach even. But I just knew there was always something more. But in order for me to figure out what that more was or is, I had to get back on my feet. I had to start talking to myself nicely. I had to remind myself of who I was and who I am and who I need to be in this situation. I had to get back on my faith and start talking to God and praying and journaling and something I didn't want to do, exercise. Yeah, I had to start taking care of my body. And this was years of work. But this is work I actually enjoyed doing, the behind the scenes, the internal work. But sometimes in those times when I was struggling with envisioning and visualizing my future, I would get stuck again. And then I'd be like, but I did all this and all of a sudden it just stops. What's wrong with me? And that's when I realized I was dreaming about the wrong things. The dream car, I got that in my 20s. So when I got rid of my car and I was forced to walk or take the bus or ask for rides, it taught me different things about myself that I didn't think I was capable of. Asking for help, prioritizing my schedule around others, leaning on others. I'm a very independent person, get up and go type of energy. So if you can relate to that, let me know, because not having a car for almost 3 years now, I realized it did something to me. It forced me to sit down first and foremost and reevaluate how I'm spending my money, why I threw so much money into that specific car at the time. It was a Dodge Charger, RT, Hemi, V8 engine, all that good stuff. It was a dream. I actually gave it to my dad, another dream that I didn't realize was a dream of mine. But that car payment at the time was almost $1,000 with insurance, repairs, maintenance, gas. And I was just working to pay that car off. And at a certain time, it was my dream. Got the fast car, I'm able to go wherever I want. But after a while, it became a burden. And you fast forward to present day, end of my 30s, I'm about to enter my 40s. I started to question, what are my dreams? And I was thinking about all the times where I got overwhelmed and I was feeling stuck. And it was because, like I mentioned, I was dreaming and aiming for the wrong things. I had to flip all of my ideologies, all the programming, all of what I thought I needed to strive for upside down. I needed to say, hey, does my dream life include another fast, expensive car? Or can I survive on foot, public transportation, borrowing other people's car, rentals, and saving for something affordable, easy to manage, low maintenance, and then still enjoy my life? In fact, have more money, have less stress? That sounds like more of a dream than having to maintain this expensive, almost 6-figure car. Yeah, Honda. I want a Honda. So my dream car ended up being a Honda in present day. It's actually what I'm actively working towards, is buying a Honda. And of course, if I can afford something more expensive and I can maintain that lifestyle, because that was something I wasn't able to do after a while. I wasn't able to maintain financially that lifestyle of maintaining an expensive car. And I didn't have the patience to work that hard just to put into a vehicle that was sitting outside collecting dust or constantly in the body shop. So that was one area of my life where I had to just look at it from a different perspective. I'm not saying don't aim for the Lambos and the Ferraris and the Cadillacs. Go for it. But are you compromising your peace of mind to have it? Or are you in alignment with that purchase? Head to toe, mind, body, and soul. Now, you don't have to overthink it because your gut's already telling you the answer. So whatever your intuition and your gut is telling you, go for it. And if you get the Lamborghini Urus, call me and pick me up so I can go in that car, because that's one of my dream cars. Same goes if you have an Audi Q8. So RS, let me not forget that detail. But what I'm saying is, where I'm at today in present time, buying an $80,000 plus car, $100,000 plus car is not going to give me the same peace of mind it would if I had just purchased a Honda. Because I'm at a place where I don't want to stress so much over things that are just things. I just need to get by to and fro. I don't want to worry about break-ins. I don't want to worry about maintenance, parts that are only exclusive to certain companies. No. So I started doing that with everything. What is my dream home? Do I even want to buy real estate? Am I content with renting? I would personally, my dream would just be to have a lot of money invested, saved, to give, to share, rather it just kind of collecting and sitting in a home. What I would like to invest in maybe is a business, brick and mortar, a building. These are things that just pop in my head and have challenged me to think of a dream life differently. Nowadays, dream life is just being able to sit and play Barbies with my niece, to go to my nephew's football games and not have to worry about getting in trouble with work or any of that. When I quit my job almost 8 years ago, I didn't know it was going to turn into a business. I didn't know I was going to have longevity like this. 8 years of anything, 7 years of anything, 2 years of anything, to be able to survive on your own. I mean, of course, I didn't do any of this completely alone, But when you're self-employed, you have to be your own motivator, your own hype person, your own HR, your own marketing. And if any of that starts to fall apart, so does the business. And I've learned through it all that it was never the dream title, the dream job, the dream industry that kept me going. It was me and how I believed in myself, my faith, my support system, self-love, how I worked on my personal development in times when I was struggling financially, emotionally, spiritually, physically. It was how I pulled myself up in those moments to be resilient, to be confident, to be courageous, to not be afraid to fall on my face and start over from scratch. That's when I realized, oh, I don't need to chase a job. I don't need to chase clients because I already have it in me. I'll be okay no matter what I do. As long as I'm able to do these things, quality over quantity. And that's pretty much how I've developed this era of my life. Now that I'm in my 40s, of course I'm older, so my my tolerance to go outside and be outside is not as big as it was back in the day. But I still love a good party. I still love to travel. Now it's just a little bit more refined. Like if I go party, it's like, let me save for a good vacation. I don't need to be outside every single weekend. But if that's the case, that's the case. I just know that my dream life is something I've already been living. I just didn't realize it. And that I do have a lot more power and control over this situation. And I didn't have to let anyone else dictate that for me. And I know that's a very blessed thing to say, privileged, if you will. And I'm humbled each and every day at the circumstances that I'm in. But I also know if all of it were to fall apart, I would still be okay. Because my dreams aren't rooted in a job. My dreams aren't rooted in a dollar sign. My dreams are rooted in God, my faith, love, fun, enjoyment, what brings me joy, who brings me joy. And as long as the bare essentials are met, I'm good. So when it comes to dreaming and your dream life, take some time to reevaluate. Flip some tables, not literally, but flip some tables in terms of how you think about things. And comparison is truly the thief of joy. I got caught up in a lot of the social media scrolling, like, oh, I don't have tens and thousands and hundreds of thousands of followers like other people. I'm never going to monetize my content. I'm never going to be a YouTuber. Like I was talking so bad to myself because I kept comparing myself to other people's lifestyles. I'm not where they're at. They just started a year ago. I've been at this for a decade. What's going on? I got caught up in all that. And when I scaled back and realized my content has been making me money, I might just be doing it in a different way. And maybe I'm not getting paid from this podcast or from my YouTube videos, but people are seeing my content and saying, hey, can you coach me? Can you be my TC? And that's when another table flipped. I was like, okay, I got it. As long as I just show up and be present, no matter what I'm selling or serving in the world to make money or to just help people, I just got to keep showing up. And the rewards will pay in dividends over time, which means I will always be okay. I truly believe that with my whole heart. And if I wanted to really change the course and try something completely different, I know I'll still be successful at that because I'm basing everything off of my definition of success. And as long as I'm rooted and planted and grounded in my faith, I'm good. Cutting down those expenses, rebuilding and reestablishing my relationship with money. I talked about this in previous episodes, but detaching my self-worth from the dollar sign. When you're self-employed, when you make a lot of money, you're on top of the world. But when that dollar and those commas start to disappear in your bank account, it could be really depressing. And I had to get out of that mode ASAP. And I'm so glad I did, because although I've had one of the toughest times financially in the last couple of years, 2025 has been one of the best years for me mentally, because I renewed my relationship with a lot of people, a lot of things that I once held to a standard that was almost impossible to find any sense of contentment, joy, love, peace, and really just checking myself before I wrecked myself. Because it was getting close. I was getting close to a path I did not want to live in for too long. So I had to evict myself from all those negative thoughts and negative feelings and things. And it takes work, showing up every single day, journaling, praying, like I said, gratitude, talking to people. But as long as I continue to show up for myself and believe in my dreams, no matter how outlandish, how small or big, medium they are, I have full confidence that whatever I put my heart and soul to, it's going to happen. And the struggle and the wins are all going to be worth it. So if you're out there and you have a dream that you're sitting on, or maybe you're afraid to face it, talk to me. Reach out. We can strategize. We can game plan. We can just daydream together. And then this, and then I want to do this, I want to do that. I'm down. That stuff is fun to me. So we're going to touch more on that in future episodes. But for now, I just wanted to open up this dialogue. I'm in the process of rebranding some things. I don't know if you've noticed, I have a new podcast cover. I was working on that this morning, and I was about to sit on it for 3 months. And I was like, F it. Just post it. Just post the content, even if it's not ready, even if it's not perfect, even if it's not what I envisioned. It's still part of the vision. It's still part of the dream. I can always revise it. I can always change it. I trust myself enough to know that whatever the reaction is, I'm willing to adjust. I'm not super tied to everything like I used to. I'm not as rigid as I once was. Everything doesn't have to be perfect. Everything doesn't have to be under my control or controlled. I've learned to live in chaos and peace. And even through it all, there's peace in everything. So I'm going to stop talking. But if you have big dreams, sit with them. Map it out. Like I said, even if it doesn't feel like it's possible, some part of it will either happen, or you'll realize there's a different path, and I've just been on the wrong path this whole time. And it comes down to how much are you willing to invest in that dream. 5 minutes a day is enough. Compound interest is a real thing. So embrace it, give yourself a chance, and continue to dream big. You never know where it's going to take you. If I can meet Prince, you could do anything you want. All right? So go have some fun. Make this an activity for yourself. Include family, include friends, live stream, whatever you need to do to make it happen. We're going to make these dreams come true, okay? And with the new year approaching, we don't have to wait. But if you start now, by the time the new year hits, or whenever you're listening to this, you'll be like, wow, I'm so glad I started that day when I was listening to the Keys podcast. And Lil was talking about making my dreams come true and not having to be so tight with my dreams. And it's all about just readjusting your expectations. If you want that Lambo, go for the Lambo. But there's an opportunity cost for everything, as long as you just keep at it and have fun and enjoy the process. And reach out if you need help. I'm a resource. Visit my website, LillianHernandez.com. All of that will live in the description below. I'm here to help. I'm here to be a resource. And stay tuned for more conversations like this. I enjoy it. I'm trying to keep these episodes under 20 minutes. So it looks like I met that goal. So if you made it this far, send me an email, thekeyswork@gmail.com, and then tell me something you're dreaming about, or a dream that has already come true, or a dream that you're revising. Okay? I'm here for you. We're in it to win it. Okay, guys, we're unlocking the best versions of us. And it's, let's just do this. Okay. I'm out of here. It's your girl Lils. Lillian Hernandez, but you can call me Lily. And this is the Keys Podcast. Talk to you soon.